those people that haven't sat in the theater and experienced the demo, can you just talk a little bit about what you guys are showcasing?
So we're showcasing actually the beginning of a game, and what you're going to see starts in a car, and then we kind of bad things happen inside the car, you're sinking underwater, and then eventually we kind of replay the events that got you into the car. So that's what the demo is about, and then there's a bunch of things that go good, well, and wrong in those 17 minutes.
What role has fan feedback played in this franchise as you go from game to game and try to push the envelope?
Well, we live in a world today where constant communication with our consumers is a natural thing we do. We do it every day. So we obviously conducted a lot of research and frankly asked a bunch of questions to people that were playing our games and asked them, hey, what direction do you want us to go and what do you think should be here? But I think we realized quickly that we didn't have to go too far, because I am one of those, call it executives that push the teams on saying you should build a game that you want to play. That's how I started out in this industry. We made Battlefield because there was nothing in the market that did what we wanted. So we made Battlefield, frankly, for ourselves. And then many other people happened to agree with us that this was needed. So I think we come back to that kind of all the time. It's like more putting yourself into asking yourself what kind of vision and what you want to experience, and then that's what we build. So, and hopefully our fans would agree that that's a good thing.
As we head into a transition into the next generation, what excites you as a developer about what the future holds for the shooter genre and things that you're able to achieve with this game?
Well, listen, just like many other boys and men, I'm a tech geek, right? So I get excited about the technology. But again, the team constantly reminds me that it's not about the tech, and we look back, but I cannot still sometimes understand how they do it and what comes out on screen, how it's even possible. I personally think that this is a significant step forward in visual fidelity and in interaction on the screen. Personally, you may or may not agree with me, but that's my personal opinion. I think that is really what excites me the most, that we actually will see a significant leap forward in what you can project on the screen.
Do you feel that with this next generation of technology that the game industry will have the equivalent of what Hollywood always referred to as the Citizen Kane in the movie industry?
I think that's a pretty good correlation and pretty good comparison. I hope so. We can certainly hope that that's the case. I feel like, again, for the first time, we're at that kind of crossroad where we can deliver something that we've been talking about for decades, but we have been unable to deliver to the largest extent. Some teams and some games have been able to do this in a different way and still gotten to that emotion and kind of relatable characters, but I still think that this is a very different experience than what we've been able to produce as game makers in the past.
What impact do you feel that the more cinematic and Hollywood experience will have in attracting a larger, more mainstream audience to a franchise like this?
Well, hopefully people see this as, they're participating in an action movie that they want to see on screen, that they want to go to the cinema and experience. I look at this as a high production, cool, obviously high quality action summer blockbuster movie, and we all go to those. So if we take that approach, hopefully we can lure in some more mainstream consumers.
What do you feel that being based in Stockholm, the culture of that town brings to the games that you guys develop?
Well, first and foremost, the studio in Stockholm there's a bunch of Swedish people, clearly, but there's probably, 35% of the studio are non-Swedish. So all the meetings are held in English. It's a very bilingual, multinational studio in that sense. But I think there's one thing that kind of keeps them all together. Maybe it's the cold and darkness that does it, but they have this desire to be best at what they do. They have this kind of passion for just beating what they did and become so much better every single year and every single time. And that's just across the whole studio. It's a DNA that you feel within those walls when you walk into that studio. So that, I think, is what DICE gives us. I think it's more unique to DICE than to Sweden or Germany or someplace else. I'm fortunate to work with those people, and they're among the best in the industry at what they do.
How does what's going on in the first-person shooter genre push you guys when you have other games coming out competing with you and seeing what the competition is? How does that impact what you do from game to game?
Well, I'll be lying if I were to tell you that we don't play other, our competitors' games, and frankly, we look forward to a lot of them. I don't see it necessarily as competitors in that sense. We look at them as colleagues in the industry, and we play their games, and we probably take inspiration from parts of their games. But again, we come back to making games that we want to play, and that's what we think is the right thing for us. And then obviously with influences from other game developers, from movies, from music, and from photography, and anything that can be projected on a screen, I think.